This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. And as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, dog? How you doing?
What's good, man? I'm just sitting here in front of a recliner with a light in front of me, ready to talk about some shit.
Hanging with your boy, hanging with the peoples, and we have made it to the middle of the week, so it is all downhill from here.
Yes,
And
sir.
that is all to the good, man. We got a lot to get into sports and pop culture wise. But before we do that, we start, as we always do, by thanking our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from, as you see by the scroll on the bottom of your screen: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. 3 great locations, and all 3 they do the same great things. Fantastic food. I say fantastic. I don't know why I needed to yell that. From a wildly diverse menu, a craft beer selection that is very diverse and very good, and a selection of entertainment that is also very diverse and equally as good as the food and the craft beer that is served at all 3 Hop Monk locations. Whatever you're into, they got it entertainment wise at the Hop Monk locations in Novato, Sonoma, and in Sebastopol. Whether you're just looking for a good time to hear some good music, or you want to see some stand-up comedy, maybe you got some stand-up comedy in you and you want to get it out. They have open mic night. They have open mic comedy night. They have trivia nights. They have all sorts of stuff. But what I love about Hop Monk entertainment wise is that it's a great place to not only see touring acts from around the country, but it's a great place for local artists, local musicians to be seen. So check them out to see what they have going on, live music, live entertainment wise. Check them out online at hopmonk.com. Better yet, follow them on all the socials. Even better yet, make sure you stop into one of the 3 Hop Monk locations in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. Before we get into sports, we lost another very, very, very talented, pardon me, musician, very, very talented artist. Learned yesterday that D'Angelo passed away from pancreatic cancer. And he was extraordinarily young, and he was extraordinarily talented. He was extraordinarily beloved, and the news hit Marcus extraordinarily hard yesterday when we found out that D'Angelo was no longer with us.
Yeah, dude. It is. It's a great feat when you can make an album and disappear for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and have everybody still foaming at the mouth to get that next one.
Fiending for that next D'Angelo album, brother.
Crazy.
Men and women, by the way. All right. All right.
Seriously.
Both sexes banged with D'Angelo hard. And here's the thing, Marcus. Not only would D'Angelo drop a classic, okay, and then disappear, he'd come back, right? He would just appear, right? Out of the ether, out of nowhere, drop another classic, and then disappear.
Yep. Basically, my man was like, "I'm gonna go ahead and make an album every 10 years."
And they're all classics. Brown Sugar,
Yeah.
classic. Black
Yeah.
Messiah, classic. What's the middle one? Voodoo.
Yeah,
Classic.
Voodoo is like,
Oh.
I mean, all 3 of those albums,
Oh.
they are in the current rotation.
Oh my God.
They
Oh my
stay in
God, man.
rotation.
No,
And
he was incredible.
and I heard, and I was, he was working on another album too, which is really what's
Mhm.
that, what pains me. So, I mean, maybe we'll get some of that music that he recorded before he passed. Maybe that'll come out soon enough. Because he was very tight with Raphael Sadiq.
Yes. Yes.
And as a matter of fact, Raphael worked on his first album with him, a little bit on Voodoo, and then a little bit on Black Messiah. But I think they were really in cahoots on what was supposed to be his 4th album. So I hope we get that, man.
I hope we do as well. I hope we do as well. I wish we would have gotten it with D'Angelo still around, but as we all know, cancer stinks, and unfortunately, cancer has taken many a great artist and many a great person. You know, forget it, are ridiculously talented like D'Angelo.
Yeah,
was.
dude.
Cancer is the absolute worst, and having some personal experience with pancreatic cancer. He won't mind me saying this because we did talk about it publicly, but
Mm,
my partner on the radio back in the day, Bob Fitzgerald's wife,
yeah.
she passed away from pancreatic cancer, and what I learned through that horrible experience and watching Bob and his family had very young kids at the time, and watching Carol go through it from far, is that pancreatic cancer, it, it's a death sentence. Once
Sneaky.
once you're diagnosed with it, you're going to die from it. No one lives with pancreatic cancer, and it's the most vile, and it's the most aggressive cancer. So I'm fairly certain, with what I know, and I'm not a doctor, obviously, but with what I know about pancreatic cancer, I'm fairly
Yeah.
certain all of this happened very fast for D'Angelo
Yep.
and his family, and like he's got I didn't know this, but he has a son with Angie Stone,
Yep.
who
Yep.
also passed away earlier
Yep.
this year. I saw this, man, and it genuinely bummed me out. The legends that we lost
Mm-hmm.
this year, Roberta Flack. You mentioned Raphael Sadiq. We
Yep.
lost Dwayne Wiggins from
Yep.
Tony
Yep.
earlier this year. The great Roy Ayers, as I mentioned, Angie Stone, Sly Stone, and of course D'Angelo. We lost one of the Whispers. That just popped into my head earlier this year. So
That's right, Walter.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So hearing that news about D'Angelo was an absolute bummer. But I will say again, and I've said it too many times, unfortunately, but it is true. As sad as it is to lose these great musical artists, the great thing about music, the beautiful thing about music, is that it lives forever.
Yep.
And while we're while we're not going to get another D'Angelo album, as we would wait
Mm-hmm.
years and then get another classic, and he would disappear, and come back and drop another classic and disappear. While we're not going to get that, what he did bless us with, those three
Yep.
albums and the other things that he was a part of, man, that stuff's going to live forever. He was an absolute legend.
Yeah, dude. I mean, one of the things about artists is that since most people, particularly nowadays, sort of get their diet of these artists from either videos or the music itself,
Mhm.
most folks don't get to see some of these people perform, which is I am always a gigantic live
Go see
show
him.
person. I love seeing people live. You want to get me on your team? If I see you live, I'm hooked. And D'Angelo live was fantastic.
That's what I heard. I never saw him, but yeah, man.
Fantastic
Yeah,
live.
man. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you ever get a chance to see him, I'm sure there's videos out of his shows. If there aren't, they will be coming out somehow. But that dude was so good live, and it's the weight of my heart. Be a great live performer. I'm on your side. And that
He
dude,
he
he was
he
amazing.
was so talented.
Hmm.
Obviously could play multiple instruments.
Hmm.
Obviously, he was an incredible songwriter. Didn't help that the dude was just stupid attractive. All right. And he put out that iconic
Yeah.
video where he was
Ooh, sex appeal.
well, but I'm just it
Ooh,
came to the
sex appeal.
television. I mean, at some point in time, you're just like, okay, enough, dog. We get it. but that's the thing about
You're
D'Angelo.
hot.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's the thing about him, is that even the brothers were like, all right, dog.
Yeah, you got it.
If I looked like you, I would do a video where I was definitely naked from the top up and
Absolutely.
seemingly naked
100%.
from the belly button down.
Absolutely.
I'd do that too
Absolutely. I'd be
if
running
I
around my
had that
clothes off.
torso in that V. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about? The V
Gotta get the V.
that
If
points
I
to the.
had the V, my pants would be sagging like them young boys be
Oh yeah,
sagging.
you seeing this V? Oh yeah, you seeing the path to the baby maker? I'm
See,
doing that. That's the thing about D'Angelo. You like, yo, bro, you got it. I can't even hold you, dog. You got it, man. I'm gonna let you. I'm
well,
gonna let
the
you
funny,
rock
the
with
fun,
that.
one of the more unique things about it was the fact that he hated that so much.
Yeah,
He hated that, and it was literally one of the things because I guess he was an introvert, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
being out publicly, being around people was not his thing. Raphael Sadiq tells a story about the very first time he was going to record with D'Angelo, and he said D'Angelo flaked on him the first day. He just couldn't do it. He thought he was going to pull up, to Raphael Sadiq's place. There's going to be some kind of mansion. There's going to be a bunch of people there, et cetera, et cetera. He's like, he just couldn't bring himself to come in because he thought it was going to be like one of those big old star things. And
Yeah.
Raphael was like, nah, I was just going to be in a little 2-bedroom place with my little garage studio. He thought it was going to be something else. And he didn't like it. He didn't like the sex appeal thing. He thought it took away from people paying attention to the art, as we've actually had a few superstars lament, woe is me, I'm sexy. I get it, but God, it's too bad.
Yeah. He was a phenomenal performer, and I do think even though he personified sex, especially with that one video, and everybody knows the video I'm talking about. I think people for the most part got past that and saw the ridiculous talent that he was, and he was, you know, I don't think I'm out of bounds when I'm saying this. He was our Marvin Gaye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was some Otis Redding
Yeah.
in there. Obviously, there was an insane amount of Prince
Yep.
in there. There was an insane amount of James Brown
Mm-hmm.
in there as well. He was all of those things, and it never seemed to me like it was derivative. You know what I mean? It's like
No.
you can tell when some I mean, and I'm using him as an example, kind of heavy-handed way to make my point. Mick Jagger, you could tell that Mick Jagger saw James Brown and was like,
Sure.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
It's derivative, and obviously he did it and has made a long career and has put his own spin on it. But you could tell that's what he was doing. With
Mhm.
D'Angelo, you just never got that sense.
No.
That you got the sense that while he clearly studied the greats, he wasn't just aping what they did. He
Mhm.
just saw how they did it and went, okay,
Yeah.
that's possible. Now I'm going to put my own spin on it, and that's why I respect him so much from a music and an entertainment standpoint.
Amen. I get the whole concept, the sound, the neo soul sound. I actually got into not an argument, but a little bit of debate with an older head yesterday about that neo soul sound. He's like, "Oh, well, that's just Prince." Like, no, man, that is not Prince. You
No,
just think that's Prince because he was singing falsetto.
right, right,
But
right, right.
that sound is nothing that Prince ever did. It
Yeah,
wasn't even close to what Prince did.
yeah.
I'm like, well, what is it then? I'm like,
It's
it's like
D'Angelo.
stacked soul
Yeah,
with fused with jazz. Like that's
yeah.
probably the best way I can describe
It's
neo
D'Angelo.
soul.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
is. That's his spin on it. That I think
yeah.
more than anything else, he paid homage to those greats
Mm-hmm.
and that sound, and he made it his own. And I do think that it was so bewildering to some people that they had to classify it. It had to be named something so they
Mm-hmm.
could understand it. Like
Yep.
they had to put a handle on it so they could carry it around because they just couldn't they couldn't wrap their arms around what he, particularly what D'Angelo was doing. And that's how you're talking about a great artist, somebody that is so talented and confusing at the same time. To
Yep.
me, art is supposed to be that. It's supposed to make you feel certain things,
Yep.
yet you're still trying to interpret exactly the point that they're trying to get across.
Yep. Yep. Amen to all that. I mean that sound ushered in by him and Erica Badu as
Mhm,
well.
mhm.
I think he actually even had the same manager, but that sound, that's them. They
Yeah,
created that.
yeah,
And if you pay attention, and I'm a nerd for UK music, but UK, if you check out UK soul, UK R&B, all of it is D'Angelo derivative.
mm,
All of it.
mm, mm,
Even acts
mm,
who like winning Grammys here, like Ray
mm.
and others, they all derivative of the sound that D'Angelo launched. A sound, by the way, that he walked away from
Yeah,
by the time he dropped his third album.
yeah.
So that's crazy how much that thing kind of followed him around through the end of his career.
Obviously, a lot of folks like us who were just fans and who didn't know him, but also ridiculously talented musicians who knew him via a working relationship or knew him in a personal level. Athletes paying athletes, entertainers and
Yeah.
artists paying tribute to him. I know Beyonce mentioned, had some kind words for
Oh,
D'Angelo. One of my favorites came from one of my favorite people,
oh,
and definitely one of my favorite guitarists. The great Vernon Reid said this about D'Angelo.
mm,
D'Angelo, by the way, Vernon Reid worked with a few years ago. Let me go ahead and move this banner here, and I'll just read it for the folks who are just listening. D'Angelo was an artist who was lit up by music. I was struck by that when I first met him, and again when I had the pleasure of a session with him for the film Set It Off a couple of
mm.
years later. He poured himself into music. His sense of time was connected to something very old. Um, because Vernon Reid is a writer and an artist. That tweet, he said everything that I just said, except he said it in a much more succinct way, and he said it in a much more loving and personal way. I think that's a beautiful explanation of the type of person and musician and singer D'Angelo was.
Yeah, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
Miss that dude.
So yeah, I miss him already. So rest in peace to D'Angelo, and nothing but the best wishes and hope for is hope for comfort for his son
Yeah.
that now has lost his father and his mother,
Woo,
D'Angelo and Angie Stone, and
woo.
to D'Angelo's family and his close friends. I hope they can find some
Mm.
peace and solace as quickly as humanly possible while dealing with this far too young death and obviously
It's been a rough year for
unexpected death.
deaths, Rod.
Yeah, man.
Been
Yeah,
a
yeah.
rough.
You know
Oof.
what, man? We're getting to that age, brother. We're just, with our advancing age, we are seeing we're seeing people that were, 20
Mm.
years older than us. They're no longer, with us. This just popped into my head. Diane Keaton,
Yep.
one a great actress. She
Yep.
passed away. She was what, in her late 70s. She passed away, and so people who are older than us clearly passing away, but also we're seeing people around our age passing away from things like cancer, and
Man, I
it's a shock to the
know.
system, to say it
It is, dude.
lightly. Mm.
Ooh, boy.
Let's make the awkward transition to the toy department of life, and that is sports. And while, of course, this is not a life or death situation, for fans of the San Francisco 49ers, of which there are many who are watching this program right now, the Niners injury situation probably makes you think about possibly throwing yourself off of the nearest cliff. Uh, as the Niners, the team, and the fan base still reeling from Fred Warner's injury this past Sunday and how the Niners are going to deal with it, not only on the football field, but as far as their culture is concerned. Niners back at practice for the first time this week in advance of their game coming up Sunday night against the Atlanta Falcons, who looked pretty damn good on Monday nights against the Buffalo Bills. So here is the Niners injury participation list for today, and I will just highlight a few key names. Let's start here with Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall injured his knee a couple of weeks ago. He did not
Mm.
participate in practice. Kyle Shanahan said that Pearsall is just still not ready at this point. So Ricky
Mm.
Pearsall is not going to play. Um, Juwan Jennings, he's limited in participation. He said after the game he's got 5 broken ribs.
Oof.
So that is an issue, but I would expect for Juwan Jennings to play. Now get to the quarterback issue because you see Mac Jones on this list. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the top. Mac Jones is on this list. He practiced today, albeit in limited fashion, and Brock Purdy also practiced today, albeit in limited fashion. So what does that mean? According to Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, still dealing with the turf toe injury, is
Yeah.
more limited than Mac Jones. So to kind of interpret that for all of you, both limited, but Brock Purdy's injury is going to keep him out for this game. Mac Jones, who's taken a beating over the past couple of weeks, particularly
Mhm.
last week in Tampa. Mac Jones is a little beat up, but he is not as limited with his injuries plural because he has more than one. Purdy's got the toe. Mac Jones is the knee, oblique, and I think one other one as well, but I forget what it is. But anyway, Mac Jones, just one more day of, in essence, rest. And then he will be a full go, I would think, in practice tomorrow. Mac Jones will play on Sunday. So the quarterback situation for the Niners is still Mac Jones, the number one. Brock Purdy is not ready, Marcus, to go just yet. So the Niners are going to try and squeeze one more week at least out of Mac Jones playing quarterback.
Hey, man, it's so funny because when this thing first sprang up at the beginning of the year, the conversation we were having was how people kind of poo-poo turf toe. And I'm like, no, that is a thing that's ended careers.
Yeah.
And so I suspect that having him come back when he did may have turned out to be a bad decision.
It didn't. It's a decision that, again, it was a decision they had to make Purdy play because it's similar to where they are right now, is that Purdy and Jones are both limited. They're both hurt, okay? But Purdy is more hurt right now than Jones. Flip it to a few weeks ago, Jones was more hurt than Purdy. So they had to play Purdy. He played.
Who's the third string quarterback?
Adrian Martinez. No disrespect to Adrian Martinez. They don't want Adrian Martinez out.
No disrespect to Adrian Martinez, but I mean, hella disrespect to Adrian.
Come on, dog. Let's keep it a buck. All right. let's keep it a buck, bro. All right. The best case scenario for everybody, including Adrian Martinez, is if Brock Purdy or Mac Jones plays. All right. I don't think I'm being mean or unfair when I say that. Am I being disrespectful? Maybe a little bit. So, so a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, whenever it was, again, Mac Jones was hurt more than Brock Purdy, so Brock Purdy played. He re-aggravated the toe. Where the Niners got lucky is that re-aggravation didn't turn into complete annihilation of the toe and having to sit out for as long as what's his name in Cincinnati, my man Joe Burrow, is sitting out. So the Niners dodged a bullet in that regard. That Purdy didn't hurt himself more having to play because Mac Jones was injured, and they're lucky again that they have Mac Jones, who has been playing at a decent enough level to where the Niners have a chance to win. So
he's playing himself into a starting job next year with Las Vegas Raiders. That's what's happening.
Well, I tell you what, if the Raiders want to trade Max Crosby for Mac Jones, which of course they won't do, but let's play a little fantasy football here. If the Niners want to trade Mac Jones, I should say the Raiders want to trade in English, want to trade Max Crosby for Mac Jones, they could do that. Because remember, Mac Jones, he's on the contract for this year and next year.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing, which is smart for the 49ers to do.
Very smart. Very smart.
Very smart for them to do. The Raiders I won't even get into them. But that would be the thing. That would be the smart thing for them to do. But somebody's going to shake loose for them at the end of the season. They'll grab somebody.
Noemi, that's a long-ass list. You're right, Noemi. It's a very long list. Even if you took off Trent Williams at the bottom, who just got himself a vet day, and Christian McCaffrey in the middle, who got himself, understandably, like Trent Williams, a vet day, that is still a long-ass injury list. So you are 100% correct. However, there is some good news, some very, very good news. Ladies and gentlemen, George Kittle is back in the mix like flour in cake.
Yes, George Kittle
back at practice today, out, I want to say 6 weeks due to a hamstring injury he suffered in week 2, if I'm remembering correctly. And George Kittle, been back on the practice field, obviously a welcome sight. And it's not just George Kittle is back and he's going to catch passes. Man, here's what it means to have George Kittle back in the mix for the Niners. The most important thing, the Niners' run game has been absolutely anemic. Been held to under 100 yards the Niners have on the ground in 5 straight games. 16% of Niner rushes get stopped for a loss. Think about that for a second. 16%, maybe even more, get stopped, Marcus, for a loss.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's wild.
That's
That's
crazy.
wild. Christian McCaffrey faces contact as soon as he touches the ball. He gets less than a yard, Christian McCaffrey, about 8/10 of a yard, before he sees contact. And the
Crazy.
Niners' interior offensive line has regressed since that game against the Saints all the way back in week 2. George Kittle's going to help immediately.
Yeah.
His inline short yardage blocking makes him basically an extra offensive lineman. He's a far superior blocker than Farrell and Tonjes, the other two tight ends that get the majority of the play. Tonjes is more of a pass catching tight end. Farrell is supposed to be the blocking tight end, and quite frankly, he has not done that nearly as well as he needs to. And the Niners' current wide receivers are just not doing their job in terms of blocking. Whether it's downfield or whether it is closer to the line of scrimmage. So getting George Kittle back, Mark, is going to be massive and immediately massive for the Niners' run game when they get back in action this Sunday against the Falcons.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how much of effect he has on that running game. I mean, that's where we expect to help the most, I guess. But I'm thinking that whoever's quarterbacking is going to love having that safety valve.
Oh, yeah, 100%, dog. 100%. That's another. And here's where you're on point about that, because there's another area where the Niners have been below par this year, and you can draw a straight line from red zone issues for the Niners to not having George Kittle. The Niners are bottom 5 in the league in red zone.
That's
efficiency.
crazy.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah, George Kittle's going to help him out in that regard immediately.
Yeah, that's wild too.
Yeah.
But who are they playing?
Falcons.
Oh,
yeah. Because hey, let me
I'm watching this boy run the ball the last few weeks. So, like, yikes!
Hey,
not the kid you want to be facing when you got a leaky run defense.
Now, listen, we haven't even gotten to Halloween yet. Okay, this has been an interesting league. Okay, the Patriots are tops in the NFC or the AFC East. The Colts are tops in the AFC South. All right, the Falcons are the new darlings. But Bijan Robinson,
whoo,
son. He's and this had nothing to do, not specifically with what he did on Monday night. Oh, and he showed out on Monday night. But Bijan Robinson, he's their Christian McCaffrey. He is just the as
real
good,
deal, baby,
or even better than Christian McCaffrey. Okay, he's hell running the ball, and as far as him pass catching, like Christian McCaffrey, still now he is borderline unstoppable in that regard. Bijan Robinson is a problem. Drake London is a problem. A problem. Michael Penix, when he has time, is a problem. That Falcons defense, led by Jeff Ulbrich, former Niner great. I'll call Brick a great. He's one of my favorite people. Jeff Ulbrich has that defense. They're young, they're fast, they hit, they're hungry. This Falcons team is good, dog. They're really good.
It's weird that the Falcons are a team that I just want them to be okay. Like, because I like their owner, Arthur Blank, for various reasons. And I feel like he's not an owner who gets in the way.
No, he's not. He's not at all. And him not getting in the way has allowed the Falcons to draft in a smart way. And I think it's allowed them to establish some continuity, particularly. But here's the thing with the Falcons: they're going to be good. They're here now, and I think they're going to be around for a while. The thing, though, is that they're young, and here's why I think this comes into play on Sunday, and this is why I think this is going to be in the Niners' favor. And by the way, the Niners are 3-point favorites. Okay.
Oh wow.
And here's why I think what happened on Monday is going to work for the Niners. that was a big game for the Falcons, and it was an emotional game for the Falcons. And pro players are not like college players where they ride those emotions, but they're still human. And emotional game on a Monday night, young team. Now they've got a short week of preparation. They, in essence, lose a day of preparation. Okay.
Yep.
Short week of preparation. All right. They got to get back to work. So they got to get their minds right. Everybody in Atlanta telling them how great they are. They got to get that out of their heads. They got to get back to work. They, in essence, lose a day. They got to get on a cross country flight. They got to play a Niner team that is still talented, but literally wounded in terms of injuries. And also the Niners realize, like, this is we could get ourselves in a spot of trouble here over these next few weeks because we don't have Fred Warner, because of the competition they're going to see. I think this is a dangerous Niner team that the Falcons are going to see. And I don't know if this young Falcons team, they're swimming in water that they've never been in before. And I don't know if this young Falcons team that is crazy talented on both sides of the ball, I don't know if they can handle that. Okay, we won that game, but that's as dead as John F. Kennedy. Now we got to get ready for the next game. I don't know if they're ready to turn that corner. If they do, I'll be surprised and I'll give them all the credit in the world. But I need to see it first before I believe that they can handle prosperity and they could beat a Niner team that is still talented. But a lot of people are telling the Falcons, no, you should beat them. They just lost George Kittle. They're playing with their backup. Or they just lost Fred Warner. They don't have Nick Bosa. They're playing with their backup quarterback. They haven't played well all year long. They can't run the ball. I don't know if the Falcons are ready for that just yet. I don't know if they're ready for that prosperity just yet.
Here's what I'm thinking. There are certain teams in certain leagues that it don't matter who's playing. You light up for them, especially when you are a team trying to prove themselves.
Yeah.
They will not be taking the San Francisco 49ers lightly. It is a feather in their cap. They are going to be so amped to play this game against this team just because it is a proving ground. We just beat the Bills. Let's get this next feather.
Okay, and I don't disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to see it because I've seen the scenario that I just described, where young talented teams have like, okay, we got this. All right, we just had a big win against a legit opponent, and the Bills are a legit opponent. I've seen them have a situation where they could put two feathers in each side of their cap, and then they go out there and they completely shit the bed.
So that's going to come down to whether or not the coach has them prepared and sufficiently hyped up and amped up. You don't want to be too hyped up where you're committing penalties and crap like that, but you want to make sure you go into it single-minded, focused, treating this game like the game that it is. And let's face it, you got to stack these wins.
But young teams, that's not something that is innate within them. That's something that they have to learn. And a lot of times young teams have to fail at that before they eventually figure out how to handle prosperity, how to win those. These are back-to-back primetime games.
Yeah.
As Jay Stamps points out.
I'm shocked, actually, that the Falcons have back-to-back primetime games.
I mean, and you know what? And the Falcons are probably shocked by that. Like I said, and this is in no way disrespect.
No.
Because, again, this is a good, young, talented team.
Yeah.
I need to see them beat this Niner team that is up against the wall right now, right? I need to see them do that on the heels of beating Buffalo and winning that emotional game at home before I say, they're going to do it. So I think it's going to be a very good game. But like I said, Niners are 3-point favorites.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. I believe in you got to show me. That's how I feel anytime there's a new young squad.
Got to show me. Got to show me.
You got to show me. I felt this way about SGA and his squad last year.
Got to show me. And they showed you.
Show me you can do it.
And they showed you.
You can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Until you do it, I'm not going to say you will do it.
For sure. Let's get into a little postseason baseball. I will assume they won. I turned the television off before we started, but the Toronto Blue Jays down 0-2 to the Seattle Mariners, going to Seattle, opened up a can of whoop ass and hit a bunch of home runs, and presumably, like I said, I turned the game off, but they have beaten the Seattle Mariners, and now it is 2-1 with the Mariners still having an advantage in that series. Last night, the Los Angeles Dodgers of Chavez Ravine beat the Milwaukee Brewers, and they are now up 2-0 in the NLCS on the strength of their starting pitching, the Dodgers starting pitching. Blake Snell went 8 innings, allowing only 1 run in the first game, and Yamamoto threw a complete game last night. So folks are going crazy because, let's face it, nobody pitches like that anymore.
Nobody throws complete games.
It's
Anybody going past 7 innings is like, oh my God, what?
Exactly, right? It's a different game. It's a different time. But it wasn't that long ago, though, when a couple of starters in a postseason series went back-to-back with outings that went deep into the game. The Dodgers are the first team to have 2 starters go 8 or more innings in consecutive postseason games in one series since Madison Bumgarner and Tim Lincecum, who pitched games 4 and 5 for your San Francisco Giants in the 2010 World Series. So 15 years ago, all right, that's a little bit of time, but that's not a crazy amount of time. People seem to have forgotten what Bumgarner and Lincecum did, because they were going bananas over what. And as much as I hate the Dodgers, give Snell and Yamamoto credit. Those dudes went out there and they absolutely shoved on the Brewers last night.
Yeah, man, get your complete game on. Like it might get me interested in watching games again.
But I just want to point something out here, and this is not hating. Okay, again, I hate the Dodgers. I don't want, like the Cowboys, I don't want the Dodgers to win nothing. We're obviously past that point, but I don't want. I wish nothing but bad on them.
Oh boy!
But I want to point out the difference between what the Dodgers did last night and how they got these 2, and what Lincecum and Bumgarner did, and how the Giants acquired those 2. Right, Lincecum and Bumgarner, they're homegrown, came up through the Giants system, flourished in the Giants system. The Dodgers, as they have the right to do, because of the way Major League Baseball is set up, they paid a boatload of money for Snell, who was on the Giants. And by the way, I have a little bit of video that's going to send Giants fans into an existential crisis. Spent a lot of money on Blake Snell and spent a lot of money on Yamamoto. And money changes everything.
Everything.
Check out this from Sport Track. The Dodgers' 3 starting pitchers. This includes Tyler Glasnow, who's going to pitch for the Dodgers tomorrow night. Okay. Dodgers' 3 starting pitchers. $85.7 million.
Crazy, dude.
The Brewers' 26-man roster. $80 million.
Crazy.
Come on, dog.
I mean, we were just saying this off air. Like, if you got money, there's no excuse you shouldn't be winning championships.
Yep.
Because there's nothing out of your price range. You do not have to shop at the Ross to find players like the Oakland A's. You can go right to the Gucci store
and just start throwing cash around. I want that. I want that. I want that. I want that.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but since there's no salary cap, everybody can make top dollar.
Everybody. You just have to have the intestinal fortitude to do it. And like I said, I'm not mad at the Dodgers for doing it. I wish they wouldn't. The person I blame the most is Frank McCord, who owned the Dodgers, back in the day, and he was doing the Jerry Jones thing where he was trying his best to absolutely run them into the ground because he thought he was smarter than everybody else. And then he messed around and got divorced, and he had to sell the team. Sold the team and sold it to people who knew what the hell that they were doing, which is the Dodgers are a cash cow. We're going to use that cash to buy all the good players we could possibly get, and then we're going to compete for championships and win championships. And unfortunately, that's what they've done. I don't blame them for doing it. That's what you should do. That's exactly what the Giants should do. That's exactly what other teams
Amen.
should do as well. And even though it seems a little janky that the Giants, I wish the Dodgers are doing the deferred money thing, it ain't against the rules.
Yep.
And that's how you should spend if you are serious about winning. Hey, man. All right. If you got it, flaunt it.
Listen, I wish my teams had unlimited cash to sign. I feel like you are doing a disservice to your fan base if you aren't loading up with superstars.
Yep.
I'm not one of them people go, oh, that's cheating. It's not fair. No, it's
Hell
fair.
no.
Stop me from doing it.
No, there's nothing to stop you from doing it other than your own cowardice or your own greed. If you are, let's say, the owner of the A's or the owner of the Pirates or the owner of the Miami Marlins, all right, they just don't want to spend. Like I at least give the dude who owns the Mets. Like just because you spend money, that doesn't mean you're going to win a championship.
Right.
I give that dude from the Mets credit. He has
Right.
spent just as much money as the Yankees. Nobody's spending as much as the Dodgers, but they're spending, that Mets payroll is $300+ million. I give him credit for doing that, right? He doesn't necessarily have to, but he's doing it. And like I said, even though you're spending money, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to win. That means, though, you're competing. I give that guy credit. I give the Yankees credit. I give the Dodgers credit. I don't give the Giants credit because they should be spending $300 million a year, just like the Mets are, just like the Dodgers are, or just like the Yankees are, and just like the Dodgers are, although they seem like they're creeping closer to $400 million a year.
Crazy. Hey, listen, if you have that kind of money and you're spending that way, then the problem is you if you're losing on a regular basis. Like you can have a year that's not great or whatever, because obviously players have, their statistical fluctuations. However, on a regular basis, generally speaking, if you got the paper, you should not be having losing seasons. You should not be fading at the end of every year. None of that shit should be happening to you. You should be somebody that people are worried about.
Well, unless you're the Mets, because they just seem predestined to spend a lot of money, have a good 3/4 of the year, and then fade at the end. That's just what the Mets do. But at least they're trying.
I mean, at least they're spending the money and not sitting on it.
Right.
Now you're going to find somebody who spends it right.
Or they're not cashing those revenue sharing checks that the A's have been cashing forever, and the Pirates are currently cashing, and the Marlins are currently cashing. So, the Giants' payroll was a little bit over $200 million. Bump that up to $300 million and start stomping with the big dogs. Damn it. Because I don't know if another Lincecum or another Bumgarner is going to come through your farm system again.
Yeah, bro.
And you can rely on those guys.
Accidents.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I shouldn't even play this video, but I'm going to do it anyway because this guy was on the Giants, and if the Giants wanted him, they could have threw what the Dodgers threw at him money-wise and kept him around. And I'm talking about the aforementioned Blake Snell. Talked to TBS the day after his 8-inning, 1-hit start. And Blake Snell mentioned that, because Blake Snell's always been a very good thrower of the baseball. But Blake Snell said that his limited time in San Francisco is how he started to learn how to pitch.
San Francisco is probably, that's where I learned how to pitch. I was around Logan Webb, and man, he's going 7 innings. It's like every game he's going 7 innings. And I just would talk to him, like, how you doing it? Like, what are you thinking of? And he's like, man, I'm in the zone. Like, you're just not in the zone enough. You strike too many people out. Like, you got to get in the zone more. You'll still get strikeouts, but get in the zone. And by doing that, you're going to get, 6, 7, 8. You're going to be able to go deeper in the game. And man, that year in San Fran was so big for me, just being around Logan and really learning how to pitch.
Shout out to the homie Logan Webb. By the way, like you, Marcus, he's a long-suffering Raider fan. But shout out to Logan Webb, one of my favorite people. But Logan, and this is what you're supposed to do. But you learned him a little bit too good, because remember Blake Snell, who again, talented arm, won a Cy Young But remember, he won a Cy Young, and he only averaged 5 innings an outing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like you talk about crazy. 5 and dive guys.
That's crazy.
His name would come. Oh my God, that's a terrible place for me to stop that video. It looked like Blake Snell is
having a seizure,
undergoing an exorcism or something along those lines. He was a 5 and dive guy, and he got to San Francisco and got under Logan Webb. Logan Webb, 5 innings. There must be something wrong with him. It's just not his day. Logan Webb is going to give you at minimum 6, and he only considers it a quality start in his mind if he goes 7+ innings. But Blake Snell's time along with Logan Webb and with the Giants. And remember, Blake Snell threw a no-hitter when he was with the Giants. His first no-hitter, his last no-hitter. That all came from his time with the Giants before the Dodgers broke him off a nice chunk of change.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could ever vote for a Cy Young winner who didn't go 5 innings unless they were a closer.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could remember who was around him in terms of the other Cy Young candidates. But I mean, it's one of those. What are you going to do? That's just the way the game is, and a starter can't necessarily keep himself in there.
Yeah.
And again, he was with the Rays, and the Rays are one of the worst in terms of we're just going to try and spreadsheet this game to death. Remember, he had that playoff game where he was humming one game, and they took him out, right? Because that's what the computer card said for him to do, to take him out. So I don't necessarily blame him. Not that you are, but I don't necessarily blame him for only averaging 5 innings in that Cy Young year. He was at the mercy of of his bosses, of the manager at the time, who I think was Kevin Cash, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, good question.
Yeah. So there you go. Baseball postseason continuing, and it looks like, unfortunately, the Dodgers are going to get back to the World Series to defend their title that they won last year against the Yankees. All right. You want to see a fight in an NFL stadium?
Love to.
You know how much I love fights in NFL stadiums. We take you to whatever the name of the stadium is that the now Washington Commanders play in, as they were battling on the field the Bears, but in the stands you had Commander fans fighting Commander fans.
The worst.
Marcus, look at these thugs.
The worst.
Look at these bunch of fatherless hooligans causing trouble. You know what? The National Guard should step in and do something about these hooligans. By the way, I want to show you something. Back up. Okay, so you see John Riggins down there in camo throwing pillow shots on whoever that is down here. You see this shirtless murder pig at the end of the row. Please tell me you see the brother security guard who wants nothing to do with these two clowns attempting to beat the shit out of each other. I'm going to go back, and I'll put the volume down so we don't hear this lady shrieking. Although when I put the volume down, it takes away from hearing Enter Sandman playing in the background as these Neanderthals fight. But so we'll watch them fight here. Oh, I can't. There we go. Now I want you to watch the brother security guard come in from the top. All right, look at the edge of the row. He's like, oh, they don't pay me enough for this shit. He is giving minimal effort. He's trying to negotiate with him.
That's so funny.
Now the other brother come in and he like, all right, I guess I have to. All right, I got to do something.
Let me get on in here. Look at, then he pushed both of them down.
Right. Let me get John Riggins off this old man.
He pushed both of them back.
Both of them brothers was like,
he put both of them back. Like, okay, you could have been in there earlier, dude. Like, if I was the dude who's getting sucked, I'd have been suing. Like, you could have pushed both of these guys off me.
I promise you, both of them brother security guards was standing a few rows up, and they were just like, guess we got to go down there, Jamal. We sure do, Steve.
That's right.
All right, let's go. You first. All right.
Before we go, who'd you have again?
Yeah, which one was you gonna get? You gonna get which one you gonna get? You gonna get that one, or you gonna get that one? Oh, I'm gonna get this one. Because it was like you hope just like maybe they'll just tire themselves out.
Yeah. That's how you know they drunk, because they didn't get tired. I don't know how many street fights the audience have ever been in, but typically, if you get into a fight with somebody after about 3 minutes, you tired.
And you can tell
You tired.
none of them about that life. These some pillow
You
shots.
tired.
These some pillow. Let me look at this. Look at Riggins. That's sad.
By
Like
the way,
he not even moving old boy down there.
that dude know how to take a punch because all he been doing is getting punched. And he stands up and they go over again and start punching him again. Watch.
He's also got a lot of insulation on him. That's a
Watch
big
him
boy
go and start
right there.
socking him again. Watch.
Pow!
And then watch dude push two of them away. Watch. Oh, both of them.
So once again, this shows that NFL games are much better at home. I mean, that is a scientific and easily provable fact. So there you go. Let's do some on this date. Ooh, this is a fun on this date. Oh my God, this is a fun on this date. On this date, both of these things we're going to show here happened in 1988. And I mean, these are two sporting events that I think are going to live forever in our sporting consciousness. Because on this date, we had one of the greatest college football games of all time played in the afternoon. This date was a Saturday. October 15th, 1988 was a Saturday. One of the greatest college football games of all time was played in the afternoon. And then one of the most memorable home runs in baseball history was hit. So we Marcus already knows what it is, but we'll start with the Catholics versus the convicts.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brent Musburger. You really don't have to build this one up very much, do you? You know how high the stakes are. Miami to win back-to-back national championships needs this one. Notre Dame to get back to the top, they have to beat the Hurricanes. You also know that there have been hostilities between these two schools, bad feelings. They feel Miami ran up the score. And, of course, Miami reacting angrily the way Jimmy Johnson's telephone number was published. Short time ago, the coaches meeting at midfield, shaking hands. We thought the hostilities had died. But then, as the Hurricanes were leaving the field, an ugly few moments down there in the end zone. Pushing and shoving broke out. There was some kicking. Police had to step in, and finally the Hurricanes were escorted back inside the locker room. So I guess we can truthfully say, as we get ready for this game, these two teams still don't like each other.
Miami was ranked number 1 at the time, and they were defending national champions. Notre Dame was ranked number 4 at the time. Notre Dame won the game 31-30, and Notre Dame eventually won the national championship. And as a postscript, they haven't won a national championship since. And I sincerely hope it stays that way.
You know, I love Tim Brown, and I loved him at Notre Dame. Loved him when the Raiders got him. And even though he went on to have a Hall of Fame career, before he had that ACL, that dude was a monster.
Oh, yeah. Tim Brown, Hall of Famer.
Monster.
Hall of Famer.
Tim Brown was so good, dude. Oh my God.
Before he had the knee injury, he was so fast. He was deceptively fast because he was so smooth. And he had excellent hands.
Yeah.
If you got the ball anywhere near Tim Brown caught it.
Yeah, and it's funny because that was one of the things that was not the knock, but they were concerned about before he was drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Can he catch the ball? I mean, he's a great kick returner, blah blah blah. But shit,
I don't know if I've ever seen, and I'm sure it happened. I just don't remember it. I don't know if I've ever seen him drop a ball. And I had the best seat in the house, being the sideline reporter for the Raiders for, I don't know, what was it, 5 years, whatever it was. I don't remember watching him drop a football where you're like, oh, Tim should have had that. There might have been some tough catches that he didn't make, but as far as something hitting his hands and him not catching it, I don't remember that.
I always wondered how he managed to catch the ball in general because the way his fingers were wrapped. And like, how do you catch the ball with your fingers wrapped that way?
His hands just so strong, just so big and just so strong. Yeah,
and a good dude.
Yeah. Tim's good people. Tim is good people. Noemi saying that Jimmy Johnson reminds her of a Cabbage Patch Kid. That was Fat Jimmy back in the day. That's when Jimmy just ran on nothing but Heineken and nachos.
I did not like Lou Holtz.
I still don't.
Never did.
F.
And
Lou
never
Holtz.
will.
F. Lou Holtz. F him. No. Didn't like him at all. Didn't like those Notre Dame teams. And glad that they have won a national championship since. All right, Marcus. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and avert your gaze, okay?
Lightning right now. 3-2 at the plate. High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
You know what? That's enough of that shit. Kirk Gibson hit a 2-out, 2-run home run to give the Dodgers the win in Game 1 of the 1988 World Series over Marcus's juggernauts, Oakland Athletics. The Dodgers went on to win the series 4-1, and that still is the biggest upset in World Series history.
Crazy.
Over the last 40, 45 years.
Well, and then the next year was an upset too. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, not the next year, the following year, because they beat the Giants the next year.
They beat the Giants in '89, and then they
lost
to the Reds when they couldn't get Billy Hatcher out. Yeah,
which is so weird.
Yeah, Billy Hatcher ran all over them. Whenever that was a good Reds team.
Weird.
It was a good Reds team, but the A's, from '87 to '91, I think it's fair to say that they greatly underachieved considering all the talent that they had. Yes, that's a very good point. They were the American League Braves. Damn, that's a great point.
Braves. They won 1 World Series. They should have had 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, they should have had this one.
Yeah, they should have had this one. They should have had 4, and like. Oh.
I mean, and this graphic here is going to live forever. Had not allowed a home run since August 24th. Again, this is October 15th, 1988. So we're talking 2 months basically with Dennis Eckersley. Who did he win the Cy Young that year? Did he win? I
think he won in 92.
Either way, Dennis Eckersley, great closer then, Hall of Fame closer. Kirk Gibson.
I think Clemens won Cy Young that year.
Okay, but point being that Dennis Eckersley, all right, it was the premier closer at the time and got by a gimpy Kirk Gibson.
And what's funny is people don't really understand how good Dennis Eckersley was.
Yeah.
People talk about closers. There are guys with more, but this dude was so damn dominant as a closer.
Yes.
The numbers on him are insane.
Yes. But he's always going to be remembered for this. And I'm not going to play the video again. We're just going to stay with the still shot. We're going to stay with the foreshadowing stat here.
I think he had another one against the Blue Jays in '92.
Did he give
Roberto
that one up
Alomar, I think.
Oh, I think you're right. I think
Alomar got it.
I think you're right. So there you go. On this date, Saturday, October 15th, 1988, Notre Dame, Miami, the famous Catholics versus Convicts game happened, and Game 1 of the '88 World Series, where Kirk Gibson hit his famous home run off of Dennis Eckersley. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I realized that both of these things happened on the same day. I remember watching them. I don't remember watching them on the same day.
They're so big.
Yeah, right. I feel like I watched one on one day and then one the next day. I remember where I was watching Catholics versus Convicts, and I remember where I was. I'm still in high school. I remember where I was watching Game 1 of the World Series. I don't remember watching them in the same room, in the same house. I don't know why.
Crazy. By the way, Catholics versus Convicts is one of the greatest names in the history of named games.
Oh yeah. Have you seen the 30 for 30, the ESPN documentary about that?
No.
Oh yeah, it's a documentary. The 3 Notre Dame students, because of course the Notre Dame students came up with it. The 3 guys who came up with it are just 3 of the smarmiest, I mean, typical Notre Dame assholes that you could imagine. And it was 100% racially coded what they did. But if you could kind of put that aside for a second, it's a really, really, really interesting documentary and a really, really, really interesting snapshot in time, because I'm a huge college football fan. We're just not going to see anything like that again, because the sport is fundamentally different. The sport is fundamentally different.
Amen.
Yeah.
Although I am glad that we settled the thing on the field now. I know some people still.
Yes. Oh, I'm right there with you. Yes, sir.
People still whine about it, but I'm like,
I
want to see him play.
No. I think 12 teams is too much. I would have left it at 4, 8 maximum. But eventually they're just setting us up for 16.
That's
but
crazy,
I'm a big fan of the playoff.
Yeah.
I love the BCS because of what it got us. It got us away from the polls
and
people's opinions determining national championships like you had in 1988. Although Notre Dame was clearly the best team that year. The BCS got us to this point. Some people say for better or for worse, but I love the fact that it's being settled on the field. I think that's just much better for the sport, much better for me. So
no championship or title should ever be settled by opinions. Period. No. Point blank.
100%. That's the problem with boxing, is that too many times the outcome is decided by people's opinions, and sometimes those opinions are wrong or flat out corrupt. We finished the show as we always do with the best thing I've seen today, and a little background on this video and the subject of this video. The subject of this video is the Pope, and the Pope is literally a Catholic dude from the South Side of Chicago.
Yes, that's right.
And when you are a dude from the South Side of Chicago, you are a Chicago White Sox fan. And Pope is such a big White Sox fan. He was at the World Series that the White Sox won in 2005 when they beat my Houston Astros, who were then in the National League. So when you're a Catholic dude from the South Side of Chicago, even if you happen to be the Pope, you're a White Sox fan. And that also means these two things run parallel. You're a White Sox fan, and it means you automatically and innately hate the Chicago Cubs.
Pretty much.
You will never see a split Cubs White Sox hat like we have here in the Bay Area, those abomination split Giants A's hats. Okay. Those are an affront to all that is decent and holy. And anytime you see one, they should be taken off that person's head, even if that person is a small child, and burned immediately in their presence. Okay. I don't make the rules. I just abide by them. All right. So the Pope loves the White Sox, doesn't care for the Cubs. Okay. Even though the Pope is like, okay, we are all God's children. The Pope has a limit. We're all God's children, but if you're a Cubs fan, you're kind of good. So anyway, so in this video, and I wish the audio was a little better, but I think you're going to get it. All right. I think you're going to get it. So the Pope was out a couple of days ago doing Pope stuff, right? He's out amongst the people, in the Vatican. He's in the Pope mobile, top down, because it's a beautiful day. And he's out there getting his Pope on. Okay. He's poping to the people. And while the Pope was out there poping, somebody hit the Pope with a Go Cubs chant.
Ooh.
And again, I wish the audio were better. I'm going to lay out, listen carefully. You will hear the Go Cubs, and then make sure you focus on the Pope, who, remember, is a Catholic dude from the South Side of Chicago, who is a White Sox fan. Okay. Did you catch that? All right. I'm going to go ahead and rewind that one more time.
I couldn't hear him.
Okay. What he said in English at the end was, after that person said, "Go Cubs," he pointed at him and said, "They lost." because they lost in the division series only a few days ago to the Milwaukee Brewers. But here's how you know the Pope is a hater, all right? And I got to get a due credit as a hater myself. Not only does he say they lost in English, he also says non perdido, which in my limited Houston public school Spanish means they lost in Spanish. I'll go ahead and rewind
twice in case you didn't understand.
Just in case you don't speak English, I'm going to break it off to you in Spanish. Here we go. They lost.
Well, me and him gonna have to kick it.
Bravo, Pope. I think he's Pope Leo. Bravo, Pope Leo. Bravo. Because here's the thing. Being a real hater means even if you are the only human being that has a direct line to the Almighty, okay? Even if you're the only person that has that, and even if you are supposed to love all of God's children, real hating never takes a moment off.
No,
don't matter who you are, cannot take a moment off. So I say to the Pope, bravo, and that is the best thing I've seen today.
And you know what, Rod? It's we don't really talk about this that much, but it hurts so much when a team that you hate wins.
Oh, it's the worst.
It hurts so much.
That's college football fandom in a nutshell.
Oh my God.
Okay. I watch on Saturday. I watch to root and see how my LSU Tigers are doing. And the rest of the day, I am hating on a diverse array of programs. Okay. And I go from coast to coast. Man, nothing was funnier than when I got the news. I was out of the country last weekend when I got the news that Penn State lost to Northwestern. Okay. Okay. I have no reason to hate on Oregon. Oregon ain't ever done nothing to me.
Nothing.
Right? Oregon's cute. They got uniforms for every game. Do you know how I cackled when I heard that Indiana went to Eugene and whooped they ass? Do you know I've gotten more enjoyment out of watching Alabama lose, out of watching A&M lose big games than I have watching my own team win. So the flip side of all that hating is, because eventually you're gonna have to pay the piper. When the team that you hate wins, like if the Cowboys ever get good and win a Super Bowl, or if the Tennessee Titans ever win a Super Bowl, I'll be despondent.
Oh, that's how I was though in the 90s when the Cowboys were winning the Super Bowl every year.
Oh yeah,
It just burned me up.
Yeah,
I just seethed.
Yeah.
Seethed.
Jay Stamp said the Pope went from holy water to haterade.
Oh my God, I need that in my life.
He sprinkled some haterade on
I need that in my life. I'm gonna be stealing that.
Dominus Patris, cup suck. Dominus Patris. Oh man, I love the quality hangers in the comment section. You guys are awesome. You guys are unbelievable. So the Catholic Church needs to clean up a lot of things and needs to apologize and answer for a lot of things. But I tell you what, I think this Pope Leo, I think he's okay.
Pope Leo's all right with me. All right with me.
He's all right with me.
All right with me.
He's all right with me. So there you go. Wednesday edition of Quality Hang. Before we get out of here, once again, thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. Check them out online at hopmonk.com. Better yet, stop by one of their locations, enjoy some of their great food, enjoy some of their fantastic craft beers. So many to choose from, and entertainment wise, whatever you're into, or even if you don't know what you're into, you'll find it at Hop Monk. All 3 locations: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. We will be back on Friday at our usual time, 8 o'clock, for a Friday night free for all. This was a Stone Groove, my man. Had a good time. Yeah, man. I will see you on Friday. How about it?
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. It is all downhill from here, and that is a good thing. Whatever you're into, be good and be good at it. We'll see you. Bye. All right.